Welcome, everybody, to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Today is Wednesday, December the 9th, 2020. Adam Freeman coming to you from lovely Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Brees is in Brentwood, Tennessee, and is indicative of his background there. We're going to start off just talking about like what is going on with Vanderbilt athletics, Paul. I mean, this is beyond. I mean, okay, I get it. Give her a shot. You got some guys out with COVID, but explain like what you were telling me something that went on at like halftime. Like she tried to take over the locker room or something. What's going on?
First of all, let me say this. For those of you that don't know, Vanderbilt does not have a men's soccer team anymore. So people that were asking, hey, just pull a guy soccer player out, right?
Yeah. Well, surely they got a club team, right?
I'm sure they have some pretty good kickers laying around Vanderbilt, right?
I mean, you got to. Middle Tennessee soccer hotbed.
Second, the punter from Vanderbilt also kicked extra points, field goals in high school. It's not like he couldn't do it.
Right.
So, hey.
I'm sensing a message here.
I'm trying to figure out, one, was this a Derek Mason cover up to take the heat off? Hey, nobody even realized Derek Mason got fired the next day.
Oh, yeah. Nobody knew that. No. And still, there's some people that still don't know he's gone.
Yeah, they have no clue. So, was this a ploy? All right. So, the halftime, she walks in. Coach, is it okay if I speak to the team? It's all yours.
Now, again, she's talking to an 0-8 team at halftime. That's down.
0-8 team that is very lackluster in their efforts, right?
Right.
All right. I guess, in her words, guys, we need to be a little more uplifting. We need to have each other's back. Says the person who's probably gone to 2 practices and was handed a jersey, right? And has not gone through
2 days,
4 years of losing.
And all the work that went into that losing.
Yep.
They still have to go to workouts. They still have to do all the practice, all the hours and everything, just nothing to show for it.
Yeah. So apparently did not go over well.
Well, obviously, if he allows that to happen, then, I mean, that's not why he's gone. Let's not get crazy. But it's pretty obvious that, he did not have the locker room. And those guys, I mean, yeah, it's a crazy season, and we'll talk about some more opt-outs today, but, they're not going to win a game, and it's not going to be because she is the kicker that they're not going to win a game. But I think I agree with you a little bit that it was just kind of a misdirect on, hey, Derek Mason's doing really bad. Oh, but look what we did. We put we had a girl kick for the first time ever in a Division I Power 5 football game. So that's the positive that we take from our year. Not that we beat Tennessee or we got to a bowl game. We made ESPN that way. So in Vanderbilt athletics, if that's what your goal is to just make a statement, which they're all about making statements lately, apparently, right, Paul? This is not the end of it, right? Uh-oh, you're muted, big boy.
Okay. All right. Hey, my job never ends. Sorry about that. All right. Where are we at?
You tell me. I was just gave you a perfect segue and you just blew it up.
Segue into Tennessee football?
No, a segue into, I said, if they're making a statement, they're making a statement about their football team by doing this. And I said, apparently they're all about making statements in the athletic department because another women's program just did something that was by far more asinine than this move.
Yeah. Okay, so the word on the street is the women's basketball team at Vanderbilt is going to not take a knee. They're just not even going to come out for the national anthem. Unfortunately, they're the people that can witness this could gain
or be influenced.
be influenced
or impacted.
starts with the word zero. Okay. Obviously,
Wait, what about all
nobody in
the
attendance.
what about all those cardboard cutouts?
The cardboard cutouts,
They're gonna be
they may be
influenced.
Zero in attendance at Memorial Gym. Zero watching at home because the games are not televised because you've won 28 games in 4 years. Congratulations to them and their. Listen, it's you want to make a statement. Be UConn. If UConn wants to do it, maybe some people will pay attention. Nobody, and I would say nobody is given a 2 cents if the women's team at Vanderbilt is going to stay in the locker room during the national anthem. Hey, good for you. But it's like going to a protest and nobody's out there.
Hey, I got something else for you. I got to give you props. Dude, I'm digging the Grassland Middle School gator around your neck.
Safety.
Where y'all get safety first? Where y'all get those, man? Those are nice.
That's all who you know. Listen, when you got
you know what they give us? They give us a black, it's black and it has a little C for Cobb County. That's what they gave us. That and a face shield and some breath mints, tampons, and Band-Aids. That's our first aid kit. Now, I swear, I'm not making this up. They gave us a big gallon size Ziploc bag that had, because they didn't want us sending people to the nurse. So they said, okay, there's some peppermints in there if somebody, says they have an upset stomach. And then there's some Band-Aids. If they get a cut, there's a face shield for you. There's some cotton balls in there. And then there's, of course, tampons. Like I'm going to give stop. Okay. I'm not doing that, man. I'm just not. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Like I just my buddy Terry just sent me a picture of the cross country banquet. Now get this. They had a game last night. Okay. Now we just built a brand new gym, which is state of the art. It's beautiful. And so we have our original gym that we used to play games in. And so it was a back-to-back girls guys. That's how we do it here. And they moved the basketball game from the brand new Hoya Center, originally moved it to the old gym because the cross country team couldn't have their banquet in the cafeteria. They had to have it in the Hoya Center. Now, they figured it out and they ended up moving the banquet to tonight. And he sent me a picture of the banquet, cross country banquet tonight in the Hoya Center. And it looks like because there's like 130 kids on cross country. They have the gym floor, like seats all over the gym floor, 6 feet apart. And all these kids are sitting and their parents are in the stands separated. It's the craziest looking thing you've ever seen. And they got them up at the makeshift stage doing whatever it is, handing out awards or whatever. But that's where we are, Paul. We're in a 6 foot world, 6 foot world. And the only way to communicate may be through podcasts, which is why Drive Through Sports is just absolutely killing it.
The number one podcast.
It's actually
in America.
One podcast download in the Southeast right now. We just cracked the top 10 and went straight to number 1.
Man, well, here's another bit of bad news as we kind of finish here with Vanderbilt in general. We're making a lot of noise. Is that Jamie Caldwell, the Coastal Carolina head football coach? Obviously, Vanderbilt's in the need of a football coach. Apparently, Caldwell says, "I'll reassess once my season's over."
I know.
That's like
I know I'm at Coastal Carolina, and you're offering me an SEC job, but I don't want that SEC job.
Not that one.
Well, there's going to be a lot of changes in the SEC. I mean, Kentucky, Stoops just fired his OC and his quarterbacks coach, so they're going to be looking for 2 guys there. Orgeron, he might be on a short lease. I know he won the title.
No,
he's got a couple years, but. Let's talk a little bit about LSU. LSU lost or is probably going to lose one of their prize recruits. Freshman Eric Gilbert is opting out of the rest of the season, which obviously is 1 game for them. But he's talking about transferring because he's homesick. And this guy is an absolute beast. And I called you earlier today. I said, do not be surprised if he shows up in Knoxville with Jeremy Pruitt and Harrison Bailey. He's his old counterpart from Marietta High School. If you get that guy, man, I'm telling you, he's a game changer. Game changer. He's an absolute beast. He's like 6'5", like 240, can run, hands, catch. I mean, if Kyle Pitts is going to go in the draft, he'll be the number 1 tight end in the SEC next year.
Really?
Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind. So he could be on the move.
Well, I got to tell you, the tight end situation at Tennessee, very, very sad.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect place for him to go. He's got familiarity with the quarterback, and obviously Bailey's going to be the guy moving forward. He played the entire game against, who was it, Florida.
Yeah.
And had some good, had some flashes. You see what he can do. I mean, the arm strength's always been there. He just needs the reps. He's going to be good. Trust me. He's going to be good moving forward. And he'll be a 4-year guy.
Well, here's the one thing that I'm having trouble with the whole Tennessee situation is that I see other schools around the nation, and they can start quarterbacks, freshman quarterbacks that are having success. And then I look up at Tennessee and I see a 5th-year senior that can't get it done. They bring in 2 guys that one's a junior, one's a sophomore, when the other kid, Garantano, is picking himself up off the ground, and they can't get it done. And then Harrison Bailey, yeah, obviously he looks like a freshman, right? It looks shaky. What is going on, Chris Winkie? You're the quarterback coach. T. Martin, where are you? Why are these guys not developing at a quicker rate? I'm not sure. I heard that Chaney's offense is pretty. It's pretty deep, right? I think there's a lot of
nuances to it.
Nuances that go into it, yeah. And so,
I don't know
if these guys.
It comes down to this. Maybe they're not that bright.
Well, it's okay. Keep it simple, stupid.
So I'm saying, like, if they're not bright enough to handle your playbook, simplify the playbook. Those are the guys you have. You have to go out there with the guys you have, and you got to make it to where they can make plays. And if you're not doing that, that's on the coach. If it's not in their skill set to do what your playbook says, then number one, you shouldn't have recruited them in the first place, but they may have got there and been sold a, false set of goods and been like, oh, this guy was great. He could do this, this, this. And you get them there and they're just like overwhelmed. So, but that gets us, we've talked our Vandy controversy, talked a little Tennessee, a little Kentucky. I guess we could talk about Kentucky's basketball team, how just abysmal they are this year. And it's like throwing an AAU. It's like throwing a really good AAU team out there against these teams like Richmond, who's full of veterans. Kansas was a younger team, but Georgia Tech, guys that have played together. It's obvious that the limited practice time, it's showing up. You can see it in the way they run their half-court offense. I think what has to happen, and they got a game against Notre Dame on Saturday. They could go to 1-4 very easily on Saturday. They got to get it turned around. They've got some transfers that have come in there. Again, kind of upsetting the apple cart, not playing with these guys a lot. They're talented. I think they'll turn it around, but it's like, I was talking with Terry today and we recorded our weekly show for Hawaii Nation. He scheduled, his team's 1-5, our girls team. And you'd look at the numbers, you're like, oh, they're not very good, but they're good. It's just they played the number one. They've played 3 number 1 teams in 3 different classifications, a number 9 team and a number 6 team. Okay. So when they get into region play, they'll be fine. So I'm thinking, if they get into Southeastern Conference play, they'll be fine. And then by the time March rolls around, if we have a tournament, hopefully, then they'll be all right. Now, I don't know if this group can make a deep run because I don't know if they have enough shooters. And that seems to be their issue every year. But anyway, let's talk a little college football playoff. They released the rankings the other night. last night, as a matter of fact. And no change up top. Alabama, everybody knows Alabama is, I think, head and shoulders above everybody else. And Clemson, Notre Dame, and they had Ohio State. Okay, and they just came down today and said, hey, you know what? I know we said our championship game had to have two teams that have played at least 6 games, but you know what? 5, that's plenty. Are you surprised at all by that move by the Big Ten?
In my good Christian voice, heavens no.
that's maybe the least surprising thing that I have heard in the last 6 months. That it's okay that Ohio State's 5-0, and we're going to put them in our championship game against Northwestern, who's 5-1 or whatever, or 6-1. So yeah, that's not a surprise. I do think it hurts Justin Fields' Heisman hopes. The fact that he's only got 5 games to look at, one of which he won by 7 points and threw 3 picks. I think Mac Jones is right now the odds-on favorite. And as we're going odds, he's the odds-on favorite at -110. Just for all those out there who might be interested. I don't see Florida slowing them down in the SEC championship game. I think they're favored by 2 touchdowns in that game. I think it could be more. I don't think Florida's defense is what it's been. It's nowhere near what it's been. Alabama's defense is getting better. It's all about matchups. Can you guard Kyle Pitts and Tony? If you can guard those guys, then it's more than 2 touchdowns, I think.
Well, I have to say this. I think ESPN released their mock draft, their top 10 today, and I think they had Justin Fields going second to Jacksonville.
Okay.
Here's the deal with Justin Fields. Yeah, he's got no shot at winning the Heisman. But I think his big picture is, hey, it is what it is, right?
Right.
I'm okay with that. I think he definitely would like a shot at a national championship. You can't take those away, no matter if it has an asterisk next to it or not, COVID edition. But, man, see, here's the problem with the Big Ten and the Big Ten commissioner. Right now, the Ohio State should be playing Texas A&M, kind of in a Coastal Carolina BYU situation, right?
Right.
So Texas A&M's game gets canceled this week. Ohio State's game gets canceled. Hey, you're 5-6. You know what? It's be a good chance, winner. You're probably going to get a leg up, cracking that top 4 with a win. You want to take your chances and do it?
But they're not going to do it.
No, they're not going to do it.
No, they're not going to do it.
Big Ten is, I don't know. What do you want to say? I mean,
listen, they drug their feet. At the beginning of the year, they put themselves in a situation where they couldn't afford to miss any games. That's the problem. They delayed it so long. They put these teams in an impossible situation because you knew there were going to be cases. You're on a college campus. I don't care how much you test, or how careful you think you are, there are going to be positive cases. And they didn't have any leeway. They didn't leave any room for their guys to test positive and miss a game, try to reschedule a game. There were no bye weeks, nothing like that. So I think the SEC did a good job getting 10 games in for almost everybody. Like Georgia, Vanderbilt, they're just like, we're done. We're COVID, we're done. And so Georgia's playing Missouri this weekend because of that. They were supposed to play Vanderbilt, but that's not happening. So,
that's because Vanderbilt's supposed to play Tennessee.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I hope
missed
as a Tennessee fan that happens because
yeah.
They released Vanderbilt's depth chart today, and I think they had like 45 players, scholarship players on the depth chart. They were moving DBs into linebacker spots, and obviously Vanderbilt wanted to pull out and say, we're done. They could do that, but who knows if they want to keep the facade of Sarah Fuller. I can't keep going back to it anymore, but do they want to give her a second chance?
They want to give her a field goal attempt.
Yeah.
They want to give her a field goal. But, oh, dude, how bad would it be if she hit a field goal against Tennessee?
That's not funny, man. Not funny at all.
Oh, making history against the Vols. I love it.
Oh,
All
my
right,
God.
let's talk Titans, man. Let's talk NFL. Let's talk Titans. All right, so Titans 8-4 playing the Jags 1-11. Now, the Jags have been I mean, they gave whoever they played this week, they gave them a game. They gave the Vikings a game overtime. So are your Titans in trouble this weekend?
I think they are searching for an identity, right? They're but you're exactly right when you say Jaguars have played everybody tough. I mean, out of the what you said, they're what 1-11.
They're 1-11.
I think maybe only like 3 of those games have been, the Dolphins hammered them early on. The Lions hammered them, and then the other one was the Steelers, and everything else was, I'd say respectable.
Yeah.
Respectable. Am I nervous? Yes. The defense is horrendous.
Yeah, y'all's D got shredded the other day.
We have no pass rush. We spent the money on the pass rush. Those guys did not.
They basically stole your lunch money is what they did.
They took it.
They stole your lunch money.
We're trying to get our wedgies out, right?
Yeah.
All right. So no pass rush, which means we've got linebackers who are not the starting linebackers. I mean, Rashaan Evans, yeah. I mean, but he's not a cover guy, right? Jayon Brown is the cover guy. He's hurt. And then with no rush, the secondary, no Adoree Jackson. It has been a fingers crossed. I mean, Baker Mayfield last week. I mean,
shredded you.
So, in my opinion, I think they played. Well, they tried to play man, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then they went to zone, they couldn't do it. So I don't know. I think we're very grateful to have a Jaguars quarterback, whoever it may be, that is not.
It's probably it's probably going to be Mike Glennon. Probably.
Yeah. So
the preliminary.
We're going to sneak one out, right? I think we're going to.
I think Tennessee will win, but I think it'll be a touchdown or less. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah.
I do. Couple games I had my eye on. I told you Tampa Bay coming off the bye week.
Right.
I think their offense gets healthy. I think they get back in the groove. I think they put up some points. And what was the other game I mentioned to you? Shoot, I can't remember. That was definitely one of them, though. That was definitely one. The Seattle game. Seattle and the Jets. Jets got to go cross country. Seattle's favored by 13.5. I think coming off that horrible game against the Giants, they bounce back, and I think they pound and pummel the Jets. I think that's what's going to happen. Because, again, it all comes down to coaching. I think Pete Carroll gets those guys motivated, gets them going. And I think they turn it around this week. They got to have it because they're tied with the Rams for playoffs. So your 1 seeds, I mean, after Pittsburgh played that horrible, two bad games in a row, they managed to win against the Ravens, but Washington got them. Some chinks in their armor, I think. Kansas City didn't play great the other night against Denver. They're both 11-1. And everybody wants the 1 seed because that's the only bye you get. It used to be the 1 and 2 got a bye. Now it's just the 1 seed. So I don't know that there's going to be that much of a change. It's either going to be KC or Pittsburgh for the 1 seed in the East. Much more competitive in the East than it is in the AFC than is the NFC. The NFC, you're looking at Green Bay and New Orleans as the top dogs. And then you got a bunch of teams there, Arizona, LA, Seattle. The Giants right now are the 4 seed. How about that? They've won 4 in a row. Now they're 5-7 and they're the 4 seed. and they're going to have a home game against somebody.
I love it.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Well, I'm still trying to get the old Missouri Tigers now only down 2. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah. All right. So my background. Okay, you mentioned the background when we got on there. Our little human interest story. All right. Sleeper TV shows, and I don't know that this is so much a sleeper anymore because people have caught on to it. Mine was Yellowstone. I started watching Yellowstone. I missed like the first season, and then it came on. I was like, well, I don't want to watch it from the second season on. So I was like, all right, I'll go back. So I went on Amazon and I watched the first season. Great. It's 3 seasons to it. It's awesome. It's one of those binge watch shows. What's something, Brees, that you binged watched like multiple episodes right in a row?
So you're talking about TV shows that have already been out, but you went back and watched them like.
Well, either you went back and watched them like multiple episodes at a time, or you never saw them and you're like, oh, this is on Netflix or Amazon or
Right.
whatever, Hulu. I'm gonna go check it out. But you weren't sure if you were gonna like it, but turns out you did.
Yeah. Recently, I've gotten into rewatching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Currently, it is the longest reigning sitcom. I think it passed Seinfeld. It's about to start its 15th season. It is a tremendous low budget comedy, which is right up my alley.
So it's a brainless comedy. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. So if you haven't seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you're missing out, and don't watch it around your wife and kid. But it is funny.
All right, before we sign off here, what's going on in Grassland Middle School this week, sports wise?
Wow, I'll tell you what, we got our first basketball game tomorrow, so we'll see where we stand.
Now, you coaching the guys or the girls?
Both. My team is the girls' team, but we're both rocking and rolling, and we play a couple of games before Christmas, and just hoping we can get through the season once we get back from Christmas break. Right?
I hear you. Well, we don't have anything going on obviously tonight. Had a game last night, played Hiram. Guys did, girls did. Girls were up 15, lost by 4, and guys got beat as well. And the guys are going to play a single game on Friday night starting at 6:00. Hawaii Nation Sports Broadcasting will be broadcasting it. You can listen to it live at hawaiinationsports.com or on the Hawaii Nation Sports mobile app that you can get for free on the App Store. Just download it and log into it as well, and chat with us during the broadcast. So we always love that. Of course, the Hoyas bowed out of the Georgia State playoffs on Friday night with a loss to number 2 Grayson, 30-6. Had them 8-0 at half. That we held them to 8 points in the first half, and their quarterback, was going to USC. He didn't impress me that much. It was really wet. They play on a grass field. I think we had 84 yards total offense. So it was a rough day offensively for us. Yeah. And we had 3 turnovers, and they only scored 30 points. So our defense was out there a lot. And they did about the best job they could. So hats off to them and our coaches for a good season. We finished 4-6, but in the middle of that, we didn't play a game for 5 weeks.
That's right.
Came back from that break and went 4-1 to end the season, or 4-2 to end the season. So, may have some switches and coaches, different guys moving on and going to different places, coming off the success of last year. But, that's just kind of what happens. A lot of openings in Georgia high school football at the end of the year. So people moving around. But, well, that leads to the end of tonight's show. Ladies and gentlemen, for Paul Brees, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, to Coach Freeman from the Yellowstone Ranch, you've been listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.